Be warned, readers, this video may contain spoilers for the content included. Now that you have been fairly warned, let's begin today's retrospective. Welcome back to a series of unfortunate events, The Reptile Room, by Lemony Snicket. In Chapter 5, the Baudelaire children spent one of the longest nights of their lives with Count Olaf. There was not a single action in which they weren't being watched by Uncle Monty's new assistant. And during dinner, the Count kept rubbing his knife against Violet's knee. When the children finally went to bed, they realized at this moment having separate rooms was not ideal. They missed the comfort of having each other close by, and now they feel even more vulnerable. They couldn't even seek out Uncle Monty in his own room, because Count Olaf stood watch the entire night, his blade glinting in the dim light. In the morning, the children hesitated before stepping into the reptile room, wondering if they would have to spend 4 years with Count Olaf. In their stupor, Uncle Monty spoke to them. He commented on how slow they were that day, and that Stefano was up even before he was. The children wanted to speak about Stefano privately, and it appeared that Uncle Monty wanted to as well. He revealed that he became suspicious of Stefano the night before. Uncle Monty became suspicious when Stefano asked too many questions about the expedition to Peru. He thinks he is a spy from the Herpetological Society and will steal the incredibly deadly viper and present it himself. When Klaus tries to explain that Stefano is really Count Olaf, Uncle Monty thinks he's being figurative. He then rips up Stefano's ticket and announces that Stefano would not be joining them to Peru. Klaus again tries to explain the situation, but Uncle Monty just interrupts him. Monty thinks Klaus was just going to bring up the fact that they will be gone and Stefano could steal the snake even easier. But Uncle Monty plans on bringing the incredibly deadly viper with them. The children stood in awe at how wrong Uncle Monty was about the situation. At that moment, a lamp fell onto Uncle Monty from Klaus's window. Not too injured, he then scolded Klaus on making sure to not dangle a lamp out the window. Klaus argued that the lamp was not near the window, but Uncle Monty doesn't believe him. Violet offered to help Klaus put the lamp in a better spot, and said to Klaus that there is no point in trying to argue that it was actually Count Olaf's doing. Then Count Olaf snuck up on the kids, and Klaus said he wasn't very smart in dropping the lamp, as it could have hit one of them. The Count threatened that if he wanted the children hurt, he would hurt them. But he will not be hurting them as long as they are in the house. He thought they would all be traveling out of the country the next day. But Klaus said that Uncle Monty tore up his ticket. The Count became very angry, and threatened that the children shouldn't rely on the new plan, as accidents always happen. Despite the fact that Uncle Monty is a brilliant herpetologist, he is still just as naive and ignorant as the other adults in the Baudelaire's lives. Just when they thought that maybe Monty was catching on, he's just too distracted by the trip and his findings to see the truth. I get that he's giddy and excited about the trip and having children of his own, but it's not only disappointing that even he is unreliable, I'm more so disappointed in the sudden change of character. When we first meet Dr. Montgomery, he is silly, but he's also smart and caring and understanding. He listened to what the children had to say and didn't write them off for just being young. And in this chapter, that sort of just goes away. I am okay with him misunderstanding the situation. He's paranoid over his finding and doesn't want anyone to take that away from him. After all, he never saw Count Olaf, so he wouldn't be able to recognize him with the disguise. But he is too smart to just ignore the children when they try to tell him the truth. Especially with the lamp. He knows that Klaus is too smart to have placed the lamp in a way that it would fall out a window. He is too considerate to not hear the kids out when they say that Stefano is Count Olaf. This goes against his character as a whole, I feel, and it actually annoys me. It feels like the character changed just to suit the conflict, and there could have been simple alterations to fix that. Instead of revealing everything, just say that Uncle Monty is suspicious. That would get the kids' hopes up that Uncle Monty couldn't be tricked, but he was suspicious for the wrong reason. Or keep that the same, but not have Monty be angry with Klaus over the lamp. Yes, he got struck by a falling lamp, of course he would be angry, but he should know that it wasn't Klaus's fault. He is just too naive in this chapter for it to be consistent with his character, and I at least find that to be a big problem so far. Regardless, Uncle Monty has been tricked in some way, and even though Monty tore up Stefano's ticket, it appears that the Count might have a solution to his problem, which becomes a problem for the children. So how does Count Olaf plan on going to Peru after all? Does this have anything to do with Uncle Monty's ill fate? Until next time, readers, keep on reading.